There's times on fires where you're wishing it would end. And I had kind of an experience, maybe my reputation, it seemed I was on a lot of bad fires, like fires that were ugly fires, as you would say, that they took off, or the jump spot was really bad. I seemed to be on a lot of those fires, so maybe I had bad luck when it came to that, where when you're on a fire somewhere, and almost every fire you're on, somebody from some other place is saying, "This is the worst fire I've been on," and you're on all of them. You know, you start to think, like, maybe I shouldn't do this job. Maybe I'm getting all this bad karma or something. But one in Montana that we jumped, and we didn't think that was going to go. That was like 85, I think, and we jumped out of Missoula. And we didn't think it was going to go very far, but the wind picked up. And the 80s were, I think, a very dry decade, generally speaking. And it happened to be close to where this large area of bug-kill trees were, and so they were all dead. They had died a number of years earlier, and it got into that area, and it just took off. And we had to have more jumpers brought in, and when some of the guys that I was with, you know, we had a big jump list of people because there was a lot of activity out of there. And so I took off, and some of the guys from Reading were still on another plane load, and they thought, "Oh, great, he's gone, so now maybe we'll get a good fire to be on." And maybe an hour or two later, they get a fire call, and they take off, and they think they're going to another fire. They're coming to our fire because we needed more jumpers. And I went up to meet them, and I actually came through the smoke. It was almost like some kind of Hollywood movie where the smoke is just engulfing everything. And I walked through the smoke, and there they are. And of course, they're going. We figured it was probably you'd be on this fire. You know, we thought we had gotten away from you, but you sucked us in. You know. So then that was one of those fires. It just went on and on and on. And it was, you know, you're trying to get a little bit of sleep when you catch a little area, and you're trying to get a little bit of sleep because you've been up for so long, and then you'd wake up and some embers had gotten over and started a little fire, and you got to stamp those out, and you know that would go on all night long. You know, trying to get a minute or two sleep here, but something was always happening. You were always on edge because stuff was blowing over, and everything was so dry that any little ember that got over would eventually start getting bigger, and bigger. So that was a fire that I remember pretty well because we worked on it a long time. When I jumped out of Boise, we had that great basin area, Colorado, Utah, a lot of the high desert, Nevada, and that's a whole different country too. So that you get to see a whole different type of fire behavior, you know, there as well. Sometimes, you know, just in the desert, you're wondering even almost why you're there sometimes. The sun, there's nothing, no cover, you know, you're just, you know, trying to put some sagebrush fire on and stuff. It almost seems like just let it burn. And I think sometimes they do that now. I think they're probably, we've learned so much more about using fire. I think we're better at letting some things burn and not letting others, and then even using prescribed fire to lessen the danger. But that's an ongoing thing. You know, I mean, you never know. Lassen Park experienced that recently, where they let a fire go, and it got big, and it impacted lots of communities, tourist-wise and things like that, health quality-wise, and you know they could have done that 100 times, and 99 times it would have worked, and this one time it got out. Of course, then they get very criticized. And I'm not privy to all that information, but it happens to anyone. It could happen very easily, and it seems like it's just poor management, but a lot of times it's really bad luck.